On a cold, rainy afternoon, an elderly woman quietly walked into an old jewelry store carrying a secret she had hidden for 30 long years. She gently placed a worn gold ring on the counter and whispered, "30 years ago, I took this ring." The old jeweler's hands began to tremble as he recognized the very ring that had disappeared on the day of his daughter's wedding. But to understand why she made such a heartbreaking decision, we must travel back 30 years into the past. Back then, Anna Wilson was only 27, a young widow struggling to raise her 3-year-old son alone after losing her husband in a tragic accident. By day she cleaned hotel rooms. By night she washed dishes. And after midnight she sewed clothes just to earn enough money to feed her little boy. Many nights Anna stitched quietly beside a dim lamp while watching David sleep, promising herself that no matter how hard life became, she would never give up. There were days when she survived on nothing more than a piece of stale bread so that David could have a single glass of milk. Then one bitter winter morning, David became seriously ill, and his fever continued to rise until Anna feared she might lose him forever. The doctor looked into Anna's eyes and told her that if David was not admitted to the hospital immediately, he might not survive. Desperate to save her son, Anna knocked on every door she could find, asking for help, but every answer was the same painful refusal. When she opened her old wallet, she found only $12, far too little to save the child she loved more than life itself. That same afternoon, while cleaning the storage room of George Miller's jewelry store, Anna had no idea that her life was about to change forever. Beneath an old wooden cabinet, she noticed a small red velvet box and slowly reached down to pick it up. As the lid opened, the sparkle of a beautiful gold ring illuminated Anna's face, marking the beginning of a decision that would haunt her for the rest of her life. Anna stared at the ring in silence, knowing that one decision could either save her son or destroy the woman she believed herself to be. She looked around the empty storage room one last time, hoping someone would appear and spare her from making the choice herself. Only the relentless ticking of the old clock answered her, reminding her that every passing second brought David closer to death. Tears filled her eyes as she silently begged for another way, but none came. With trembling hands, Anna slipped the ring into her coat pocket and walked away carrying a burden far heavier than gold. Moments later, she rushed through the pouring rain, holding David tightly as they hurried toward the hospital. Doctors quickly wheeled David into the emergency room while Anna stood frozen, praying that she had not arrived too late. Through the glass window, she watched the medical team fight for her son's life, feeling more helpless than ever before. After what felt like an eternity, the monitor steadied, and for the first time that day, Anna allowed herself to breathe. Alone in the quiet hospital chapel, she fell to her knees and thanked God that David had been given another chance to live. Meanwhile, news of the missing engagement ring spread quickly throughout the small town, leaving everyone shocked and confused. Police officers questioned every employee at George Miller's jewelry store, but Anna remained silent, hiding the truth behind trembling eyes. That evening, she locked the ring inside a small wooden box, promising herself that one day she would return it. Standing before the mirror, Anna could no longer recognize the woman staring back at her, because guilt had already changed her forever. The years quietly passed, the wooden box remained hidden in the attic, and with every changing season, Anna's secret grew heavier inside her heart. 30 years slipped by like falling leaves. Yet the small wooden box remained untouched, quietly guarding the secret Anna could never escape. David grew into a compassionate physician, dedicating his life to saving others just as someone had once fought to save his. Every achievement her son earned filled Anna with pride, but it also reminded her of the price she believed she had paid to keep him alive. People often congratulated Anna for raising such an extraordinary son, and although she smiled, her heart whispered a different story. Once every year, on the anniversary of David's recovery, Anna climbed the attic stairs carrying the same silent burden. She unlocked the old wooden box, lifted the ring into her hands, and stared at it without saying a word. Sometimes she quietly whispered, "I should have returned you years ago," before closing the box once again. More than once, Anna stood outside George Miller's jewelry store, but fear always convinced her to turn around before opening the door. The ring was never worn, never sold, and never forgotten. It had become the physical weight of her conscience. One evening, David returned home after another exhausting shift at the hospital and found his mother quietly sewing by the window. After a long silence, he gently asked, "Mom, have you ever done something that haunted you for the rest of your life?" David spoke about an elderly patient who had spent 40 years trying to make peace with a single mistake from his past. "People may escape the law," the old man had said, "but they can never escape their own conscience." Those words pierced Anna's heart, because they described the life she had been living for the past 30 years. The following morning, a phone call changed everything when Anna learned that George Miller was critically ill and might not have much time left. That morning, Anna opened the wooden box one last time and gently held the ring that had carried 30 years of silence. Running her fingers across the worn gold band, she whispered softly, "It's time." Just then, David walked into the room and saw the ring for the very first time in his life. Anna looked at her son with trembling eyes and quietly said, "Please sit down. There's something I have hidden from you for 30 years." With tears streaming down her face, she confessed everything: the jewelry store, the missing ring, the hospital, the fear, and the impossible choice she had made. David sat in stunned silence, struggling to understand that the life he had lived had begun with a sacrifice he had never imagined. Without saying a single word, he stood up, walked to the front door, and quietly left the house. As the door closed behind him, Anna believed she had finally lost the one person she had spent her entire life trying to protect. She remained awake through the night, holding the wooden box in her lap, wondering whether the truth had come 30 years too late. At sunrise, the doorbell rang, and David returned with calm eyes and a quiet determination. Looking gently at his mother, he said, "Let's finish what should have been finished 30 years ago." Together, mother and son drove in silence toward George Miller's jewelry store, each carrying emotions too deep for words. When they arrived, Anna stood motionless outside the familiar building, gathering the courage she had searched for all her life. David reached for his mother's hand, and together they walked toward the old wooden door. Scene 60. As the bell above the entrance softly rang, George Miller looked up from his work, unaware that the truth he had waited 30 years to hear had finally arrived. Anna slowly placed the small wooden box on the counter, her trembling hands revealing the burden she had carried for 30 long years. As the lid opened, George Miller's eyes fell upon the familiar gold ring, and time seemed to stand still. Turning the ring over, he found the engraving, "Forever Emily," and a tear quietly rolled down his weathered face. Lowering her head, Anna whispered, "I'm the one who took it, and I've come to tell you the truth." She told him everything: the desperate race to save her dying son, the unbearable guilt, and the 30 years she had spent punishing herself in silence. George listened without interruption before asking only 3 gentle questions. Did you ever sell it? Did you ever wear it? Did you ever profit from it? When Anna answered no to every question, George opened an old drawer and revealed that he had known the truth all along. He explained that 30 years earlier, he had already realized why the ring had disappeared, but as a father, he understood the impossible choice another parent had faced. George smiled through his tears and shared Emily's unforgettable words: "If this ring saved a child's life, then it fulfilled a greater purpose than it ever could on my finger." Emily married without the ring, yet her marriage was filled with love, proving that happiness is never measured by the value of a piece of jewelry. Taking Anna's trembling hands, George said softly, "I forgave you 30 years ago. The only person who never forgave you was yourself." Overcome with emotion, Anna broke into tears as David embraced his mother, and for the first time in decades, her heart finally felt at peace. Anna gently pushed the ring back toward George, but he smiled and returned it, saying, "Keep it. Let it become a story of courage instead of shame." As they stepped outside together beneath the warm evening sky, the weight that had burdened Anna for 30 years quietly disappeared. Sometimes the greatest miracle is not that we never make mistakes, but that we find the courage to face the truth, seek forgiveness, and discover that love has been waiting for us all along, because no confession is ever too late when it comes from a sincere heart. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to elevate your purpose for more unforgettable stories of hope, courage, and second chances.